Fetishes, what a week, chat. What an interesting week. I saw left-leaning people lose their composure for Donald Trump putting fries and giving a boyga. And they're like, that is so bizarre. That is so weird. Why would he do this? He's a threat to democracy. For those of you who haven't watched my video on my main channel, I'm not exaggerating. That's literally what happened. You have the mainstream media looking at Donald Trump in a McDonald's and going like, wow, that is so bizarre. Why would he do something like that? Oh, goodness. It's a threat to democracy. Just like, what world am I living in? What world am I living in? Everything they do is a threat to democracy. I think like him breathing is a threat to democracy, which is probably the biggest issue. And then, do I seem quiet or am I quiet? Let's see. See, this is the audio input capture, and it's on yellow. It's fine. Don't seem quiet. You need to turn down your volume a little bit. So anyway, right, that was like one of the things I saw. Then the level of unhinged that certain Silent Hill fans were when I said that I didn't like the scene. That there's like a sexual abuse scene in the game. And I said, yeah, I don't like it. I think it's cringe. Oh my god. I had, like, for those of you that go onto my timeline on Twitter, there was this guy that's like, basically wishing me ill, right? Like he was very angry. It's like, wishing that I was dead or something. And then basically like, how can you think this? How can you say that? Well, what is wrong with you? And I go on his timeline and literally, furry, diaper, fetish, pornography. I'm not even kidding, right? You have these individuals that go around and they're like, how can you be like this? Why are you so immoral? Why are you such a degenerate? You know? And then I'm like, well, let me see how you want at. Like, maybe I can use you as a beacon of inspiration so I can change to improve myself as a human being. Well, what the fuck is that? What the fuck? What am I? Jesus, fuck, you know? Every single time I go on their timeline, without exception, every single time and what I'm saying is that it's usually the people that go out of their way to lecture at me, you know? It's like, how can you be this way? What is wrong with you? You know, like, you go into their timeline, and it's like the funny diaper pornography, and it's like, dude, I don't think you have the moral high ground to lecture other people. Just shut the fuck up, keep your head low, and just keep doing whatever it is that is, but, like, keep it away from me, and then, you know, just don't stick your neck out if you're into that. Just shut the fuck up, you know? So yeah, that's it's one of the things that I got. The other one is the Kuber. Oh, you're a Kuber. And you go onto their timeline. Some of the most thirsty motherfuckers imaginable. Everything they have is like various flags and paraphernalia devoted to some human sexuality or another, except the super straight one, because I heard that's cringe. And it's basically them, you know, like enjoying every debauchery known to man, except the heteronormative one. And then upset, it's like, why are you heteronormative? Why can't you be? That was my week. Give me a second. I had to drink a little bit to water down my parched throat. By the way, I went to McDonald's today. I don't understand. It baffles my brain why the restaurant is always filled. I went to McDonald's because I had nowhere else to go. It's not that I chose to go to a McDonald's. And it was actually full. Like, I had difficulty finding a table. And I do not understand. It is the most expensive place in town now. Like with the amount of money that you can buy a menu at McDonald's, you can actually go to a regular restaurant and buy a steak. I'm not kidding. And it's like, well, it's Romania. No, it's like, it's a well-done steak, you know, very, very tasty, delicious with the waiter and shit. But people still go to McDonald's. I don't know why. And it's so crowded. Like, it's not enjoyable. Anyway, they now have, like, different Big Macs. I was like, what the fuck? You got different Big Macs? Yes, they have the Mac, they have the Big Mac, and then they have the Grand Mac. And when you realize what they did is they shrinkflate the actual Big Mac to the point where where the Little Mac is like a coin, and the Grand Mac is what the Big Mac used to be. So they're kind of, it's like, okay, well, we shrank it. Now let's bring it back to size, and then we're going to just increase the price, and people won't notice. No, but like seriously, it boggles my brain why people go there. Like, the food is expensive, right? Because McDonald's used to be cheap. Like, that was the advantage. Everyone went to McDonald's because it was cheap. Now it's expensive, and it actually takes a long time to prepare because of Uber Eats. Like, a lot of them are concentrated on giving the deliveries to the delivery drivers, right? So, like, if you're sitting in a restaurant, it actually takes not as much time as if you'd go to a normal restaurant, but it's definitely not like the fast food that it used to be. So I'm like, why on earth are people still going there? Permaban pointed out on Twitter that Blue Skies hired former Trust and Safety Council members of the old Twitter. Okay, so like, there are two things that I don't get about Blue Sky and Twitter. Like, number one, everyone is freaking out over the block button. It's like, it's not a big deal. I think like maybe Elon Musk did it so you can't block the sponsors. Like that's the reason that I think, right? Because a lot of people were blocking sponsors, and now you can still see what they're posting. So maybe that's why. I can only speculate. But the big brain take from journalists is that Elon Musk doesn't want to be banned. And it's like, listen, you moron. If he wants to, he could just give it to his own account. Like, he doesn't have to make it platform-wide. But yeah, anyway, right, bizarre change with the block. Not enough to piss me off. But there's the other change where they're stating that if you post something on Twitter, they can use it to train their AI, right? So, like, if you're an artist and you post some shit on Twitter, they can use it to train their AI, which basically every single website is doing now. Like, you can't escape it. If you're an artist, every single corner of the internet is going to be scrapped by the AI. Like, companies always sold your data. It's just that, like, pictures didn't have value, but now pictures do have value. So they're going to sell your data anyway. You know, like, you're going to see Facebook do the same. You're going to see... Oh, actually, Facebook already did. With your private conversations and shit. Yeah, like, Facebook already did that. So basically, like, it's the way the internet... Like, if the platform is free, you are the product, right? Like, you are the thing that they harvest. You are the thing that they monetize. They don't give a shit about your privacy. They don't care about, like, anything you put is theirs, right? So the idea that, oh my goodness, Twitter is now using my pictures for AI, I'm going to go on Blue Sky. Why on earth do you think Blue Sky doesn't have AI scraping it? In fact, like, I understand you don't even need to make an account to see what's on Blue Sky. So, like, chances are there's already corporations using their AI on Blue Sky, scraping it for data. Like, no, you're not going to get away from that. It is what it is. Like, you just have to cope and see. Seriously, I do sympathize with the artists, though. Like, it's not that I'm not on their side. but, like, the thing is, this is happening all the time. Like, every single information that you have online is being harvested so that the company can make more money. Whether it is that you're signing on a PlayStation Network account, whether it is that you make a social media account, they will harvest everything that you give and they will sell it to third parties. So, like, why do you think pictures would be different? Yeah, Blue Sky is a lot easier to scrape than Twitter. That's a... Yeah, you know, if artists want to go on Blue Sky, I mean, go for it. I don't know if they allow porn. I think, like, they don't allow porn, right? Or was that Threads? Because I keep losing track of how many of these social media are there. Yeah, Blue Sky doesn't scrape themselves. I don't think they want to make an AI, but they definitely have the platform in such a way that it's very easy for a third party to scrape. Like, there is no way at this point that if you write anything online, if you post anything online, it's not scraped for an AI purpose. Like, they are monetizing your ass like never before, right? So there's no way around it unless you just don't use the internet, I guess. I've seen a comparison between Blue Sky and X. Blue Sky sells your data to like 5 APIs. X just uses it for grok. No, I get the artist's argument. Like seriously, I understand them. I'm not oblivious to their plight. It's literally the same like the working class being upset that immigrants are taking their jobs. Like, imagine this, right? Like, to be an artist, like the troll that I have here, is drawn by a Blizzard developer. It takes skill to draw something like this. I mean, it's not the most complex drawing. This was like just something that he did in like 10 minutes. But it is, like it takes a level of skill in order to be able to draw. And some artists have perfected that skill for years, and they don't know how to do anything else, right? Like, this is their job. This is what they're good at. And now you have, like, the technology where you just go and you order an image on demand, and it's done in 10 seconds. And if you don't like it, you can order another and another, right? So I can see why artists are upset. Because, like, who's going to commission them if people can just make AI art? Right? It's the same thing like a working class lad, like a coal miner being upset that the mine is getting closed. And now people are importing coal from China. It's literally the same shit. So I get where they're coming from. I don't think there's a way to stop it, though. I mean, you can't stop technology. You can't stop evolution. So the AI is just going to go better and better. It's going to go to the point where it's going to be able to accomplish pretty much everything that an artist does. But like, to add insult to injury is the fact that the artists right now, they're training the AI with their work, right? So like, if you're an artist on Twitter and you post something, you're training Grok, which is going to replace you. So it's kind of like working at a company and they're just making you train the new immigrants that are going to replace you eventually. Vara Dark watches my videos. I talked with Vara Dark occasionally, but it was like months ago. I wanted to do a collab with her, but it ended up in the air. I watch her videos as well. I love the fact that people co-perceive at her. It's like, oh my goodness, a woman, and she's not on our side. Did you notice that the left completely dropped feminism? Like, they genuinely don't give a fuck anymore. Like, I don't even know when it happened, but now it's all about transgenderism, right? So, like, unless Vara Dark transitions, they don't give a shit. Seriously, like it used to be a time where if you disagreed with a woman, it was, like, a huge offense. And like, everyone was a simp. It was like the simp culture. Like, everyone was turbo simping. Like, you weren't allowed to disagree with a woman because then it was like misogyny and you'd get fired. And now no one just no one cares. It's like, no one cares. Like, the level of abuse I have seen Melody Mac get, I have seen Vara get, and I have seen the other chica, fuck, I forgot her name. But there were like three. There was like the Trinity. The Star Wars girl, right? So like, the level of abuse that I see them get, unironically, is not the same level that men get. It's kind of weird, right? Like, I used to hear this a lot, but I'm looking at the type of shit that I get. I look at the type of shit similar content creators get. It's really not the same level. Like they go ham when attacking these content creators. They just don't care anymore. There's no more pretext. It's like, oh well, she's a woman. They don't care. Thoughts on Moldova joining the EU? Why is it that I'm always asked about this every single month or so? I mean, yeah, okay. I mean, the problem with the EU is that it keeps expanding, right? Like it's going to go all the way into Africa at some point. Like, they wanted Turkey as well. It's like, how big is the empire? And like, how can you make sure that you govern in a way that the person from Turkey feels represented as well as the person from Romania? How do you maintain the cultures of the people that you assimilate? How do you account for the different values that people can have? You know, like, a Polish person definitely has a different value system than the Germans. Do you give a shit? No, of course not. And like, by the way, the EU is now forcing big companies to announce their ESG scores. So I wouldn't expect games, especially the ones that want to sell in the EU, to be any good anytime soon. Like, you're going to see the same shit in movies and entertainment and video games, because now they have to publicly state their ESG score. CD Projekt Red as well, like, they had like this big presentation about how woke they are and stuff like that, so yeah. Remember, the Italians used to want to make camps for immigrants and the EU overruled them in their own country. Yeah, well, this is where we're at, right? Like, they cannot account for the concerns. And why would they? I mean, if you live in Brussels, dude, they are like modern day royalty, the EU guys. Like, that, if you are elected in the EU as a representative, you have so much cash. You're swimming in wealth. It's obscene. Like, it is absolutely obscene, the amount of wealth they have. And it's not just wealth for themselves. It's also wealth to hire people so they can hire their friends to work for them and to move to Brussels. It's also wealth that they can use for traveling, so they can like go to Japan and have a business dinner there. It is absolutely obscene on how they live on the back of the taxpayer. And then they go around and they talk about the rich. Like, fuck off, you are the rich. You are the rich. You know, at least the rich earn their cash. At least Elon Musk works for a living. They even get paid to show up. Like, come on. What abuse does Melody Mac get? I only know about her because of her alleged stalker situation. Are we talking about mean words, slurs, or what? Yeah, like mean words and slurs, yeah. Like, the left used to try to cancel people for mean words and slurs. That's what I'm saying, because it's the left doing it, right? Like, they're the ones with the morals lecturing other people about how to be better, decent human beings. So, like, you'd have some expectations that at least, you know, they would try to downplay it a little bit. But no. And the thing is, like, they give more mean words and slurs to Melody Mac than they give to other people. That's what I noticed. And by the way, I don't give a shit. Like, it's the internet, right? Like, I'm pretty sure she can find out where the block button is. Like, it's not that difficult for her, but it's the hypocrisy of the issue, right? Like, yet another thing. Because I know the leftists are hypocrites. It's just like finding out on how many things they are. And this is like just another chalk on the board, you know? That is not abuse. It is according to them, right? Like, it used to start that if you even disagree with a woman, it's abuse. And then it, like, mean words, you know, like death threats, that type of shit. By the way, like, death threats used to be the laughing matter of the internet back in the day. I don't know how many of you know the old internet, like old culture. But when someone would send you death threats, you'd call them a keyboard warrior. It's like, because, like, you know, like, he's not going to fly over from Brazil and do shit, you know? But for some reason now, like, it's considered that if Skullfuck47 wants to shank you in the ass, then all of a sudden it's like, oh my goodness, I've been death threatened. I feel afraid for my life. Oh, someone banned Skullfuck47. It's like this overly exaggeration. Yeah, like the Navy SEAL pasta, you know? It used to be fun. Like, people didn't take everything serious on the internet. And it was to be like a more relaxed and fun place, right? Please don't degrade the term abuse. Listen, man, why is it so difficult to understand what I'm doing here? I am talking about the left and their moral values and apply it to them. Can I do that? Am I allowed? Can I use their own definitions and then judge them based on how they act, on their own principles? Or is it not okay? Huh? Okay, well, you know what? Leftists, you get a pass. Look. I know that you have created the Trust and Safety Council and you advocated for people to get banned over mean words, but I cannot apply the same standard to you because the dashing rogue has positioned himself as your staunch defender. He is now going to say, no, V, this is not abuse. This is like, it's fine. All right, listen, I know they say it is, and I know that they managed to create Trust and Safety Council to get you banned, but you do not get to say that they do it even when they do it, right? So shut the fuck up, V. Sit your ass down. Sit your ass down, boy. And I did. I sat my ass down. They don't see themselves as the hypocrites because they think they are righteous people. And whatever righteous people do is also righteous. I don't even know what the fuck they do. I think they can just get away with it. I think it's like that. I think they like to hate and they just need a target. And they know they're going to get away with it. Until they get their shit kicked in. And then they go block their accounts, right? They bar the doors and lock the windows and put their tweets on protected mode. Anyway, they believe it's abuse. We don't care. Yeah, we don't. We pretend we were outside. A girl we knew widow back in the day. She played right along with us to the day. Don't know who got trolled in the harder, us or her. Can anyone translate what AGJ is trying to say? Because I'm a little bit confused. V, those neo-nobles forgot how did the French Revolution take place. The French Revolution didn't have online banking. Didn't have CCTV cameras, didn't have AI that monitors what you say on the internet, didn't have the ability to monitor the French peasants based on their mobile phones. There's a lot of things that the French Revolution didn't have. I wouldn't be so sure that history will repeat itself because now we have technology. No, seriously, like think about it. We have technology to the point where if you were to go 200 years in the past and tell a peasant about what we have, they would think we're like magic. They would think we're like gods. Like the ability to just communicate with another person from the other side of the world in seconds, right? No, just imagine, right? Like you're outside and you can just send a picture of the stuff you see to your mother that's indoors in a second. Like, that would be just, like, fucking magical to these people. I'd be like, what? The concept of eating bananas in the winter, like, that would also baffle their brain. They wouldn't understand, like, what do you mean you're eating banana in the winter? Right? Like, seriously, when you think about it, the technological advancements that we have today, compared to what people used to have, Jesus Christ, like, we live a lot better than a medieval king. If you're in the United States on welfare, and you're living in a ghetto, you still have access to more amenities than a medieval king did in Europe. Think about that. Think how lucky you are. Yeah, what is a banana? They probably wouldn't know. Actually, no, hold on. 200 years ago, they would probably know what a banana is. Yeah, like, the nobility would definitely know what a banana is 200 years ago. Now you want bananas, yeah. They probably wouldn't know what pizza is. I think, like, pizza got invented later on. Anyway, right. Let me go and talk about DnD, Dungeons and Dragons. Like, they've been going woke for a while. And they peaked at Mexican orcs. That was, like, the last one that I saw. But now apparently, they're doubling down. They're getting even more woke. Like, I'm genuinely curious, in a way I'm kind of sad that people are not buying woke shit, because at some point this will end. But I just want to see, like, how far can they go? Like, what is maximum wokeness? What is the level of wokeness that even Mahler would be like, okay, holy shit, this is woke? Like so far we got Concord and Dustborn, and that seems to be, like, peak wokeness. But I think they can do better. I think they can improve. I genuinely believe that we haven't seen maximum wokeness because, while the games are becoming shit, the reason for it is that they're not putting the effort into making entertainment. They're putting the effort into making wokeness, right? Like, that's where they're concentrating. So, like, eventually, if you keep doing something, you just get better at it. So you might, like, maybe make a game that monitors your microphone and listens to what you're saying in your own bedroom. And if you misgender someone while you're playing the game, they call the cops. Like, maybe something like that. Like, come on. Put your mind to it. Like, surely you can make it. A mobile game that just, like, does your facial recognition software, tracks your ID, and the moment while you're playing the game, if you say anything problematic with another person, they call the cops. See? Like, surely you can do it. Come on. So, apparently, let's look at the Dungeons and Dragons. So they actually ripped off White Wolf, I believe, the one with the vampires. They had this shit 5 years ago, and it was cringe then, so it is cringe now. Apparently, according to the new Dungeon Master's Guide, you gotta talk with your fellow players and have a safe signal. Right? So you got, like, a safe signal, which is like an emergency stop. If anyone feels uncomfortable about anything from the game, they do the signal, and you gotta stop. How about I throw you off my fucking table, right? I go play with someone else. How about that? What the fuck is this shit? I have played so many campaigns. I have never, ever encountered someone that said, you know what, this is uncomfortable for me. I just don't want to. It's like, okay, fine, go play somewhere. And no, I have to be here. You need to be inclusive. I need to be here. It's like this. No one likes you, Billy. Everyone hates you. Even the geeks hate you. Like, this is why you're at our table. You're at the geeks table because everyone hates you, right? And now even the geeks hate you. Like, is this what you want to be? Making all these gangsta signs? Busting up the gangsta sign with the tattoos saying that, oh no, this is making me uncomfortable? It's art, little Billy. It's art. Art is supposed to make you uncomfortable. It's make-believe. Use your imagination. Yeah, come on, Billy. Come on, making you uncomfortable. Why should you be comfortable, Billy? Do you think my parents were comfortable under communism? They weren't, right? All my friends, do you think they were comfortable? No. Why should you be comfortable, you cheeky little shit? What exactly have you contributed to be comfortable? You don't need to be comfortable. No one is comfortable. Why should you? Do you want us to envy you? Do you want us to make us into socialists and envy you with greed that you're comfortable and we're not? And we're going to steal your comfort and redistribute it to the others. You need to finish your speech on a chat. It's powerful. I'm starting to wonder. Maybe I'm just like role-playing the wrong campaigns, right? Because like my campaigns do not have like anything that would make people. I mean, they do, I guess, because they're horror campaigns. So like sometimes I do try to talk about gore and guts and shit. But I have to wonder, like in my campaigns, at no point did anyone said, "Oh, I'm feeling uncomfortable," right? So imagine the degenerate shit that the people at Wizards of the Coast must play. Like, imagine the grotesque and vile stuff at their Dungeons & Dragons table that it actually has the capability of making people uncomfortable. Like, what the fuck are you role-playing? Jesus! Imagine the Lich asks you for consent before killing. Well, maybe it's like Baldur's Gate. I keep saying this because it traumatized me, chat. I'm a victim of online abuse of the sexual nature. So again, you go. Hold on. Let's see if I can get the picture, right? This is like the acclaimed game of all time, best shit ever, right? And I'm like, okay, let's play. So I'm playing the game, and all of a sudden, this absolute unit of a man comes up to me, and it's like, oh boy, I smell your boy pussy. Let's go into the woods. Let me show you how to make love. And I'm like, I got this elf. I have a girlfriend. Nature doesn't care, boyo. We can all do it together and enjoy ourselves. And yeah, you know what? I did feel uncomfortable. Maybe this is why we need the signs. Maybe this is why. Like, why did he assume? It's like, there is no straight in Baldur's Gate. Only pansexuality. It's like, do you want me to turn into a bear? Press X to consent. And in moments like this, it's like, I want to transition. And that's what I realized. Maybe this is what the developers want, right? Because like if you transition, look at the fan service you get. Look at the fan service. Yeah, like if you're into men, look at this. Look at it. This is for the HR lady. This is what the HR lady goons to. This is what she has a picture on top of her bed and she goons to at night. Meanwhile, people like us, what do we get? We get the elf chick, which is mid for a fantasy setting. Like for a fantasy setting, I'm sorry, she is mid. Right? Like, I have seen better characters in World of Warcraft. Just the ugliest night elf. Like, find me the ugliest night elf in World of Warcraft. Much better than Shadowmoon. What a hippie name as well. Shadowmoon. What was her name? Good God. You can tell the game is shit when you forget their names. And then before you haven't played the game. I fucking streamed it. Shut the fuck up. It'll make it even harder to play one-shot at Waifu Crab, for 25 Polish zloty, has super chatted me and stated this will make even harder to play one-shots at cons. When any twig can just come by, join, and throw X card anytime, ruining the play for everyone. I honestly wonder if this is going to be used. Right? Like, theoretically you can, but I genuinely am curious, like, what if you want to be a cheeky little shit? Like, what if you want to be a troll? And you don't find it problematic, but you just want to ruin the fun for everyone. Right? And you go at conventions and shit, and you're just like, doing the hand signs, doing the Gasta signs in order to get them to stop. Also the furry thing. In polls, Shadowheart, the conversation attractive female, is still the popular one. Like the thing with the Shadowheart, the reason she's popular is because every other female character looks awful. Like okay, even the Dami Mommy, that Thiefling chick, she is burned. Like her entire skin is burned. And it's not about like she has a bad personality. I mean, she does have a bad personality. We're going to get into that. Like, I understand her character arc, right? Like, I get, right? But I'm still attracted to beauty. Now, I can be friends with her, and we can be brothers in arms and companions and stuff. Like, that's fine. But if you're talking about dating, no. Brother, ew. Ew, brother. Ew. Right? And her personality, she curses non-fucking stop. She's like a teenage child, just non-stop cursing. Where's your manners, lady? Right? Now, I'm not saying, like, you can't make a character like that. It's fine. But it's like, it's not what I'm into. And it's not what most people are into, according to the polls. It's like, oh, dummy mommy. Yeah, dummy mommy. You know, Lady Dimitrescu was a good dummy mommy. Like, the aesthetic, you don't get to see male characters burned and looking disfigured. Right? Like, all the characters that are for 50-year-old HR ladies and the gay people, like, they're fine, you know? They get, like, that sexy vampire dude, and they get the druid, and then they get all these other cool characters. But what do men that suffer from heteronormativity get? Well, we get that chick with no nose. Which, again, very bizarre. Like, the personality is like, I want to taste your flesh tonight. And I'm like, no. Ew, brother. Brother, ew. You know, Pippa does curse, but at least she's funny when she curses, right? Like, she doesn't just go cursing for the sake of cursing. You know, like, there's like vile cursing that people from the ghetto use, which is not attractive or appealing. And then there's cursing like I do, which is funny and hilarious. You can't end the story of the game until the non-binary makes love with the gay character. See, now that would actually be very progressive. I don't like how in Baldur's Gate 3 they made a big deal out of the bear romance. Oh, I'll tell you why the bear romance is such a big deal. It's not even the worst scene. Like, the worst scene is the one with the succubus, believe it or not. But the one with the bear... You have all the game journalists that constantly freak out about fan service, right? Like, they run op-eds about how fan service in anime is bad, that it's horrible. And they run op-eds against Nier Automata and how fan service in any type of video game is the worst thing ever, and we need to grow up as an industry, right? So the same game journalists that are constantly anti-sex, all of a sudden they're like, oh, a bear, oh, and they were cheering and clapping and excited. And you know, like, at that point, a lot of people got disgusted. And they were like, okay, so basically, it's not that you guys want the industry to mature and you don't, you don't want any sexiness because it demeans women or whatever bullshit you're saying. No, you just don't want heteronormativity. That's what it is. Like, you want queerness. And only queerness, right? Because it would be okay if they just want queerness, right? Like, I get my heteronormativity, they get their queerness, everyone is fine. No, they don't want me to have heteronormativity. In fact, they want to shame me. They want to pray my gay in, basically. They want to shame me for liking heteronormative things, while they fill the game with shirtless men, penis sliders, and LGBT themes. And it's like, well, I'm sorry, but like... if you want to do that, at least be honest about it. Like, the way you're being a subversive chicken little shit while trying to accomplish that is getting disgusting. Because, like, people are seeing it's out in the open now. Like, we know what you're doing. Just stop pretending. Just admit it, you know? Just have the balls to say, yeah, this is what we're doing. Mizora. See, the thing with Mizora is that I actually liked her character, but she was hag max to high heaven. Like, Mizora, there is no reason why they couldn't make Mizora look hot. Like, what was her name from Baldur's Gate 2? Viconia de Vir. Right, in Baldur's Gate 2 they made her hot. In Baldur's Gate 1 she was ugly. But like in 2 she was hot. There is no reason why they couldn't make Mizora like a very sexy, alluring night elf chick. And even she is like, the moment she finds you, she has sex with you. And it's like, lady, this is not Tinder. Like, it's not hookup culture. Like, let me enjoy some romance. Just you know, like, have a conversation beforehand. Fuck is wrong with you? Like, I get it, you know, like, as a story, you can write it so that the NPC wants to bang you from the first dialogue. Like, you can always find the justification. But, like, do you not want the player to experience a wholesome moment and remember the character? Even the succubus, Ariashal, in Pathfinder, right? Like, she's a fucking succubus and she doesn't suck you from the first dialogue. It's like, start learning how to make proper characters again. You guys knew how to do that in Neverwinter Nights. You knew how to do that in Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. Like, you can make your woke shit, but, like, why does it have to be so poorly written? No reason why you can't write a proper character. Yeah, her picture was ugly. Let me, hold on. So let me see Viconia de Vir and I'll show you what I mean. Take into account that Baldur's Gate 1 was actually a very early game, right? I mean, it was groundbreaking for what it was at the time. So let me see if I can find Viconia de Vir, Baldur's Gate 1. Ah, here we go. Oh my god, they made her so old in Baldur's Gate 3. I never did her side quest, so I had no fucking idea. Fuck. Yeah, again, they're doing it on purpose. Like, yeah, you can have, like, lore reasons why she looks like that. But why, though? Like, why make her unappealing? Like, from what I understand, Night Elves, they live... the Dark Elves, they live for, like, hundreds of years. I mean, they did with Minsk, right? Like, interesting how Minsk, the human, doesn't age at all because, oh, they made the lore that he was trapped in stone. Why couldn't Viconia de Vir get trapped in stone? So yeah, like, it's not necessarily that she is ugly. I mean, compared to AAA female characters that are made in 2024, she passes. Like, she's not really that. But yeah, no, the first one was actually really ugly, right? And a lot of people didn't like... a lot of people liked her personality. So in the second game, they made her look like this. And in the new game that the woke people made, they actually made like Baldur's Gate 2.5. She looks like this. Now her story is really interesting. Like, it's one of the best stories that most of the characters from Baldur's Gate have. And she is a dark elf, and she is kicked out from the Underdark. Like she commits heresy against Loth, and she is kicked out. So when she goes out, everyone despises her, right? Because everyone knows that Dark Elves are evil. So, like, she's mistreated by everyone. People are afraid of her. She manages to find, I think, like, a farmer and works at his place for a while. But then the farmer tries to betray her. I think, like, he tries to force himself on her, and she kills him and his family. Eventually, she meets the player. And it's interesting because, like, in the beginning, she's really... struggling against the player because, again, like, she sees you as a human and all the humans were distrusting her, so now she's, like, reserved, but, like, you save her life, so, you know, she feels safe in your companion. It also lowers the reputation of your party for having her in. Because, like, old people are like, what the fuck are you traveling with the Dark Elf for, right? So, eventually, if you try to actually engage with her, she looks down at you for being a man. Like she disconsiders you for being a man because in her culture, men are inferior, women are dominating the man, right? So she looks down at you. And what's interesting in Baldur's Gate, like the second one, is that when you have dialogue with the character, if you say the wrong thing, it actually stops the dialogue, the romance plot. Right? So you can actually end up upsetting her, and that's it. Like, there's no coming back unless you load the game. But you probably don't know that you upset her, right? So it creates this interesting dynamic when talking with characters because you never know that the decision you take is the correct one or not. So for instance, when she offers to have sex with you, if you actually accept, that's it. Like, your relationship with her is over after that. But if you refuse, now she gets interested because you're the first man that ever refused her. So now she gets, like, really into you and she starts talking and opening herself up. And again, like, she's very vulnerable in the beginning. And then when she falls in love, like, she really hates it. She hates the fact that she's in love with you and can't control her emotions, so she's lashing out. And there's also banter between characters. So, like, my point is, if you actually play Baldur's Gate 2 and you realize that despite the fact that the dialogue system is very basic, the level of intricacy and details that were added, and the fact that it's so immersive that you genuinely believe that these characters are real for a couple of seconds. It's just miles beyond what Baldur's Gate 3 did. Baldur's Gate 3 was a good game because the gameplay was great. And the fact that, you know, all the quests are interconnected in Act 2 and, like, the things you do actually matter to some degree. And, that's in it. But, like, from the level of personality and character depth and the way you can interact with your companions, absolute horseshit. Absolute, just, like, modern gaming crap. I would say that even Divinity Original Sin 2 is better than this shit. Yeah, the detail of character interaction in the party was so big. Like the thing that was really cool is that in Baldur's Gate 2, you had a lot of party members. I forgot the number, but I know that there's a lot of them. And if you have, like, different ones in the party, they interact with each other all the time. And basically, like, if you side with one, you can upset another, and so on. Like, there's this elf, Aerith, that lost her wings, and she's usually at odds with this dark elf chick. And it's really nice to see, right? Like you can actually, if you try to romance two ladies, like, let's say you try to romance Jahira, and you also try to romance Viconia, then one of them is going to get upset. Like, they're actually going to be very catty with each other, and at some point, like, you're going to be forced to pick. You're going to be forced to choose. And you can even say something that pisses off both of them, and then you end up with nothing. How did Baldur's Gate 2 romance work, but not Baldur's Gate 3? Baldur's Gate 3 is like hookup culture. Like, you're just passing the game, and at some point you get the dialogue lines, and if you want to romance a character, you romance them. Like there's no way to fail the romance quest. And the second reason is that once you romance the character, you have sex, and that's it. Like, that is the ending, is the sex. In Baldur's Gate 2, there's a build-up, there's a lot of romance, there's a lot of banter, there's a lot of, making the character feel relatable. The character actually, like, the female characters feel vulnerable and they open up to you. And after that, you actually get to the romance part, and, like, you do get to have sex. But there's a continuation after that. Like, now you're a couple, and the other companions react to you as if you're a couple, and you get to have more dialogue, and eventually it ends up with marriage at the end of the game with some characters. And that's the difference, right? Meanwhile, with Baldur's Gate 2, you don't get any of that. It's like, hey, boyo, let's go into the woods. Let's shag, and I'll be in boy form. It's like, come on. I tried playing Baldur's Gate 1 last year, couldn't do it. Baldur's Gate 1 isn't as good as Baldur's Gate 2. The reason for it is, like, again, it's the first game that was of this type that I know. Like, I don't think there were other RPGs, like, that tried to copy the Dungeons & Dragons formula with a lot of text and stuff before this one. Maybe there were, but like, Baldur's Gate was the first one I played. So they were still testing what can be done. And Baldur's Gate 2 is the actual game. Like, Baldur's Gate 2, Shadows of Am, is the one that I would recommend, and it actually feels like a very immersive experience. If you just play a little bit, you get over the graphics really fast. Like, it stops bothering you that the graphics look the way they look. And it's such a long game as well. Like, there's so many quests, and there's so many cool stuff you can do. It's insane. Rogue Trader is on sale. Rogue Trader, from what Arch told me, is starting to get woke a little bit. Like, the signs are starting to appear. It's like, it's like getting cancer, but it's stage 1. Like, let's say, if Concord is terminal, and, let's see, what other game you have? Let me think of, well, Dustboard would probably be terminal as well. Forspoken 2. I'm trying to think of a woke game that you can still play, but it's kind of like you gotta suffer through it. You gotta suffer the woke shit and just champion. Oh, like Street Fighter, right? Like, Street Fighter would be probably like a stage 1 or 2, right? So you get this one, and it's like a stage 1. Stage 1 cancer, the Rogue Trader. Apparently, all the female characters are ugly that you can romance. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, I want you to play Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous and see that one compared to Rogue Trader. Again, night and day difference. It's just like Elden Ring is woke as well. Well, okay, right. Let me tell you why some woke games sell and why some woke games don't sell. When it comes to video games, I think that gameplay is king. So even if the story is really bad, even if they were to stuff pronouns in your face, even if they did all that, if the gameplay is good, people will play the game and love it. So there's also a different thing when it comes to Japanese wokeness versus Western wokeness. The Westerners, at least now, like it may change, but the Westerners genuinely believe in the horseshit that they're peddling, right? Like they genuinely believe that Trump is a fascist, that is going to steal their democracy. So anyone that votes for Trump is a danger to their democracy. So if you're in a studio like Ubisoft, and let's say you're the best artist they have, like they have no one that's better than you. But if they find out that you're a right-winger, they will kick your ass to high heaven. They don't care, you know, it's not like, oh, but he's a good artist, why? No, they will. It's the same with being a coder. Like if you're a coder and you are the best coder they have, and you've been working there for 10 years, if they see that you wrote something problematic on Twitter, you're gone. They don't care about the quality you have. And then it's also, you know, like, I have someone that actually works at Ubisoft, and they told me, it's like, okay, we need to increase the percentage of women. So you need to fire some people. And it's implied that he has to fire men, right? So, like, even if you're not doing anything, they will still fire your ass. Now, when that happens, the product eventually starts suffering. Because you're not hiring on talent. You're making people not have fun at work. You're not creating a safe space for them, as the leftist likes to say. So they end up actually in a position where they're not able to code properly. The art stuffers, like the gameplay is going to be bad, filled with bugs, because you don't have the competent people. Japan doesn't work like that. Japan, basically, they don't care, right? They do wokeness because it's required by the West. They don't believe in it. And it's also very difficult to fire someone in Japan. They got a lot of laws which prevent people from getting fired. So, like, the whole cancel culture shit doesn't work as well there. And you know, like, yeah, they will put pronouns and they will put body type A and body type B, but the game is good because they still have good coders. They can't fire their coders, right? They can't freak out that this guy is a Nazi supporter, but he's our best coder, and no, they can't do shit. So this is why you have stuff like Elden Ring that's woke, but the gameplay is good. Right? And it's also a game where the story is told in such a way that woke themes don't really affect it. I mean, what exactly do you get woke in Elden Ring? Well, you get the characters in the screen, like in the initial cinematic. One of the developers stated that, oh, we're so progressive now, we reinvented the wheel. You got characters of different races, and like, okay. And the second one is the body type A, body type B, right? But that's pretty much it. That's the limit of the wokeness that you get. Rest of it doesn't matter because, like, the game is just the 90% of it is gameplay, and you get story through text and lore, and it's like usually like the story is implied. So Bandai Namco is firing their coders as we speak. They got rid of 100 people and looking to get rid of 200 more. Yeah, but they're downsizing. They're not firing in order to replace them with women. They're firing them and not replacing them with anyone. They're suffering financially. Their games didn't sell as well as they expected. If they want to find someone in Japan, they put that person in an empty room. Yeah, but like the thing is, sometimes the company doesn't want to fire you, right? They fire you because of pressure from HR and pressure from Twitter. And it's like, the idea is like, oh, well, we're not buying the product if such and such works there. How can you allow? How can you support? That's what the left did. But the thing is, in Japan, if you say that, they can't fire him. The law prevents it. Now, they could fire him if they wanted, but they don't want to. So they're like appeasing the people on Twitter by saying, oh, I mean, we can't. We would love to, but we can't. So, yeah. And it's also a different mindset in Japan. Like, people don't think like that. It's like, why are you hiring this guy? It's like, well, those are his private opinions, and they don't reflect what our company believes. And we didn't hire him to give us his opinions. We hired him in order to do a job. If you get into the nitty-gritty of Elden Ring story, it's super anti-woke. Probably. I mean, it's written by George Martin. Like, George Martin is a very woke individual, but his stories aren't woke. Speaking of Dungeons and Dragons lore topic, V, please tell us your view on Hatzek Island, located in Romania, birthplace of Hatzek Potterix. I've never heard about it. But it's in Romania. Romania is a big place. I generally don't know. Come up with some random trivia shit in order to check me, huh? I don't know. Don't fucking know. It's true though. Sorry, chat. I'm here. Fake Romanian? No. Speaking of DnD topic, tell us your... Oh, sorry, I already read. Romania is not as big as Russia. Not even big as Australia. Australia is actually big, but like the livable place, from what I understand, is not that huge. That's saying Hudson Gopoterix. There's no such thing, man. Like, tell me the name that the normal people use. Don't tell me the Latin shit. Was as tall as a giraffe and hunted mini sauropods in Romania. I see. What did you say is the most beautiful part of Romania and the most ugliest parts of Romania? Oh my fucking god. That's a big question. I don't know, like, I like others, I like my country, so, Oh, I think I know. Yeah, you know what? The tourism is actually very beautiful. Like, hold on, let me show you something. So we got like all this type of shit that you can see in Romania, right? But the problem is that you need a car in order to see it. Like, the roads aren't done properly, and no one wants to invest in it because they have to go through the mountains, and apparently it's really expensive to do it according to EU standards. And there's like not much public transportation for tourism, right? So like, if you want to go up on a mountain or somewhere, you got to go with a private car. So if you want to see shit like this, you need a vehicle. And usually, like, the problem is like, okay, you want to see shit like this, so you go into the middle of nowhere, and then you're tied to the hotel you're staying, right? But you don't get to see shit like this, which is absolutely beautiful. So the beautiful part is that shit. The ugly part is the fact that you need to go with your own vehicle. You can't just go with a bus tour, you know, like you're doing it in London. Will the roads be busted? Absolutely. To be fair, they're not as busted as they used to be, but yeah. There's Dracula in these pictures. Like, come on, there's more to Romania than Dracula. Is the water glowing? I generally don't know. I haven't been there. If it plays a trick with the sunlight, it may glow, yes. If the Russians destroy Chernobyl, it may also glow. When did the little children come out and start stabbing with their little knives? What? That doesn't happen. Defend your own country? I see. In Korea and Japan, we made mountain roads ourselves if we lived there and used them. Oh, yeah. We tried that. Oh, much to the Korean surprise, we tried that, and the government gave a fine to the people that did it. It's not according to standards. It's not according to regulation. Here's the fine. Now take it off. And I thought the government is supposed to build roads. That's why only the government can make roads. Because if you try to do it yourself, they give you a fine and then they dismantle the roads. Romania has the largest old-growth forest anywhere in Europe. Romania has the largest populations of brown bears. I hope we get to fix that, because I really don't like bears. I generally don't like bears. I can imagine that Romania facepalm every time someone asks them about Dracula. It's not even our lore. We didn't create it. Some American twat came here and wrote it. They didn't even know what the fuck he's writing about. And now everyone is like, oh, Romania, Dracula, Romania. Oh. No, I still don't like the Korean system. To be honest, I really hate the fact that if you already pay taxes, why do you need to build it yourself? Like, I already pay taxes. Why don't I get what I pay for? Build me the fucking road. I already paid you. Maybe when rulers and government like people building roads and bridges off their own back. I generally don't know how it was in medieval time. I see, like, if you probably built something that the Lord didn't like, because like that's how it worked, right? Like you lived in the the manor of a lord, and I assume like if you built a bridge or something like that in a place where he had other plans, like yeah, you would probably take it to tear it down. You and I should do a woke DnD camp. No. No, God. Look, if I play with Arch, I want to play something enjoyable with no rags. Why on earth would I play? No. Hello, Titan Ravenscar. Century Korean government. What? They built a road? I didn't know that. Well, they get to tax then now. Korea is pretty uncool because your social media and internet presence is tied to you through your pseudo social security number. Really? Are they going that fascist? I mean, that's where we're going as well. You know, we're looking at it with dismay, and it's like, wow, that's so bad there. But then you realize the European Union wants to do the same shit. Normalize withholding taxes when the government fails to do its job. Yeah, good luck with that. I should replace Dev as Arch's co-host? Well, if Dev ever wants to quit, I'll go talk to Arch. Who's a bigger furry, Rags or V? I'm not a furry anymore, to be honest. Like, I used to be. But apparently, this is actually interesting. The furry lifespan is around 10 years. Like, after 10 years, most furries just drop out of the fandom. I found that to be very interesting. Like, there was a study about it. And it's like, huh. And I look at it like, well, for me, it was like 9 years or so. And it's like, oh, that's interesting. It's just like, it sounds very attractive. Like, the moment I had my first girlfriend, and the moment I had sex with a real woman, I was like, well, I'm not into furriness anymore. And it's like, okay. I'm not a furry anymore. It's like I'm not gay anymore. Believe it or not, that actually does happen. Like, I did speak with a person that used to be gay, and then they got bi-curious, and then they became straight. And it's like, well, what does it mean? Well, it means they don't see gay sex anymore. Like, it doesn't do anything for them. Apparently, like, people drop fetishes over the course of their lifetime, develop new ones. And some, yeah, like, some can even change sexuality. Like, you go from straight to bi-curious to the other side or vice versa. Can happen. I mean, it's kind of like, look, when you're like 30 or 35, was there not certain stuff you were into when you were younger and now you just don't care about it? Like, for me, it's funny. Like, I generally don't care about furriness anymore. It's like, I love all monster girls, including furries. Furries aren't monster girls. Furries are left-wing. Monster girls are right-wing. Like, that's also something else that I found interesting. Like someone did the political compass test based on people's ideology, and they found out it matches perfectly with the shit that they're into. Like if furries are to the left, like they're anarcho-communists, like and it's like kind of true. Like most furries you meet are of various degrees of leftism. Meanwhile, monster girls and shit are more to the right. It's like it's so bizarre when you look at it. Yuri shit, that's left. Monster girls aren't like furries because they look human. Like they're really like just normal women, but they have like bat wings and shit. And it's like the exotic appeal that people find attractive, right? It's like, oh, it's got like angel girls. Those would be a monster girl, right? Like it's got wings and it can fly around and does magic and stuff. So that's why people like it. But it's not a furry because it doesn't have a snout. I think like that's what makes it a furry, the snout. If it doesn't have a snout, then it's not a furry. What are monster girls? It's kind of like a vampire girl that has wings, like Nitara from Mortal Kombat. Like that's a monster girl, right? Like she's got bat wings and she can fly around, but like she looks like a human female. Hold on. Let me see if I can find an example. I'm going to get the Nitara that actually doesn't look like ass. Like back when NetherRealm used to make cool characters. Where did she come up? Mortal Kombat Deception, I think. Mortal Kombat Deception. Let's see if I can find it. Ah, here we go. My god, the idea that Westerners used to make character designs that were so fucking cool. Right, so this is a monster girl. Right, like it still looks like a woman, but she's got like the wings. And she can fly around. So it's like usually they have like a small trait. VTubers, all VTubers almost are monster girls, right? Like Gargura, she's got the tail. So like she looks like a normal woman, but like she's got the tail. Shy Lily is a monster girl. Like again, she looks like a normal woman, but she's got like a big tail. And some have like the cat ears, like Nekos. Nekos are also monster girls. They look like exactly like a human, but they have like the ears and sometimes a cat tail. They're not furries, basically. Yeah, and that's another thing. Like most furries are bisexual or gay. I think like 80%, 90% of the fandom swings that way. It's weird. I don't know why, but it is what it is. Actually, like it's also weird that there are furries that are straight, but they do like gay furry stuff. Like they would say that, yeah, but like humans are disgusting. They would never. But they still consume art with furries that have penises. Like I met many furries that are like that. But anyway, what was the question? I got a little bit sidetracked. Yeah, the elves would fall into the monster girl category. Yeah, so basically, people who like monster girls universally are straight. Like the monster girl fandom, like people that like that type of art, almost everyone is straight. While the people who like furry are almost universally either bi or gay. And with the politics, again, like most people who are into monster girls are right wing, and most people that are into furries are left. It's weird. It's like I'm straight, but I like gay stuff. Hey, you know, like about the definitions, I think that a person is gay when they do anything in real life with a human penis. That's where you draw the line. But I will tell you something else that's interesting before I leave. The person that animates the characters for my video game is a woman. And she was telling me how, like, one of the animations I gave her was turning her on. So I was like, okay, so what, like, are you gay? And she's like, no, because in real life, women aren't as cool looking as anime girls. So like basically she was saying that the art, like the anime girl was arousing her, but like an actual human woman would not be able to do that. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. By Succubus was making her think lewd stuff. Twitter is super funny to read now with all the dirt on Hassan being posted and the fact that Twitch CEO banned Israel. No fucking way. No fucking way. Did that happen? No way. Hold on. Twitch. Following year-long ban, Twitch publicly enables sign-ups from Israel IP address. They can't do this. They can't do this because, like in America, it's illegal to boycott Israel. Look, I tried reading, just so you can see, the hellscape that I live in, chat. Right? Like, just so you can see. So I'm Googling Twitch CEO bans Israel, right? And you get here. Twitch streaming service regrets de facto ban on Israel. And I click it. We recognize you are attempting to access this website from a country belonging to the European Economic Area, including the EU, which enforces the GDPR regulations, and therefore access cannot be granted. Fuck. So wait, like I had no idea that Twitch banned Israel. So like they removed the ban now. Streaming site Twitch accused of unchecked anti-Semitism, anti-Israel bias. The live streaming Twitch has come under fire in recent days of allegations of allowing anti-Semitic content and intentionally blocking Israel. Oh, Dios mío. Well, hold on a little bit. Why aren't the sponsors pulling out? Because they pulled out from X. Like, all the sponsors pulled out, like, before just shutting their load filled with cash. They were like, nope. But why aren't they doing the same with Twitch? Members of the streaming community in recent weeks have accused the platform of allowing anti-Israel hate speech, blocking users in Israel, and lifting bans on anti-Semitic streamers, while the annual TwitchCon conference last month reported including a panel during which popular livestream ranked others on a scale of Arab to Jew. Oh my goodness. Multiple reports, including the Ynet News on Sunday, said that users in Israel were not able to register for the platform using either email or phone, while popular livestream Destiny posted the next on email from Twitch telling an Israel user that they were not eligible to make an account. Oh, so basically they're doing it like a type of oops, it was a glitch thing. Oh my god, look at this shit. Didn't this lady get into trouble? Like, people were reporting her for la terrorism, and Twitch didn't care. It's like, no, like, look, we don't have rules here. We have teams, and she's on our team. She's not Team Asmongold, that's for sure. The platform on Monday addressed some of the allegations for the first time, claiming that it had temporarily limited signups in the region and said it had fixed some issues. See? But failed to address many of the accusations. In a statement on X, Twitch acknowledged having temporarily disabled signups on email verification in Israel and Palestine in order to prevent posting of graphic material. By the way, the graphic material shit, like, it's not illegal, from what I understand, but the European Union doesn't like it. And I'm curious as to why. You know, like, I actually like the fact that this material is available because people are very comfortable with war lately. I don't know if you've seen it, but they're treating war as if it's a football game. And maybe they need to see a little bit of the horror so they can know what they're cheering for and shut the fuck up. Seriously, and I think, like, politicians are very aware of this. In fact, like they're using grotesque images in order to manipulate public opinion all the fucking time. Remember the dead kid on the shores of Greece and how many photo ops did they take of that? And it was on every single newspaper. So all of a sudden, showing dead children is fine, unless it's an Ariana Grande concert. If it's an Ariana Grande concert, there's like a couple of pictures and flowers and maybe like some chalk on the ground, but you don't get to see anything else. But if it's kids in Palestine if it's kids in Syria that are suffering from a gas attack, like CNN will show that, right? But if you have like a terrorist attack in Europe, like they do this all the fucking time, all the fucking time. It's like they decide, well, we get to see that is explicit image because the thing is they're not illegal. Like from what I understand, and maybe like there are some countries where it's illegal. But to show like gore and snuff videos and shit like that, technically not illegal, right? So again, they do it with like dead kids on the shores of Greece, and they showed that. But when it was the Hamas attack on Israel, and the attackers filmed it themselves, like it wasn't filmed from outer space or some shit. No, like they had GoPro cameras, they filmed it themselves, they uploaded it on Twitter and Facebook, and they were showing themselves killing the elderly and civilians and all of that. And the European Union didn't like people seeing that. It's like no, we don't. And I'm curious, like, as to why. Now, if you have videos from Palestine with like kids coming out of the rubble and they found like another victim, that's fine. The European Union doesn't seem to have a problem with those. And it's the double standard that I find interesting, and it's also the fact that the European Union get to control what Americans see on the internet. Because as you saw, like Twitter has a site-wide ban. They were like, okay, well, you're not going to upload from this particular area because we don't want any grotesque footage coming up. No. The kid on the beach wasn't fake. I didn't make that claim. No. The kid on the beach, my point is, it's like, okay, you don't want to show graphic footage. Fine, then don't show graphic footage. You can't just go like, oh, we found the dead kid on Green, like put it on every newspaper. Right? But when you have like dead kids in Nice, for instance, oh, don't show any image of that because we're going to remove it. So like this is the problem. Like either grotesque imagery is allowed or it's not allowed, but apply it consistently. Don't be like, oh, well, this one is something we like and this one is something that we hate. The story behind the kid was fake. His dad was safe but wanted free dental in Sweden. I know that there was another story of a kid. The one that they found and they put in an ambulance and it went like viral everywhere. That one got debunked, I think. The EU doesn't want US social media in the end. They want division somehow alongside with cooperation with China. The problem with the EU is that they don't have their own social media. Because they have this GDPR shit, which companies find ways around it anyway. But the problem is that it's too costly for upstanding companies to be GDPR compliant. So I think like there was a Czech company or something in Serbia, like some Eastern European stuff, like they were starting their own social media and it actually went successful. But once the EU passed the GDPR bullshit, they had to go bankrupt. So the EU just doesn't innovate. It doesn't create. Like it doesn't have its social media. All the AI programs are either made in China or in the United States. They are the first country in the world, and I call it country loosely because like it doesn't have a constitution. It's not an official nation. I mean, it's a trade agreement based. But they basically don't have any AI projects that I know of. But they're the first country to codify the first AI legislation. We don't start businesses. It wasn't in Serbia. Okay. GDPR that restricts what a company can and do makes and you hand all your data over to police using every one of their rules. It's very expensive to implement, from what I understand. Like, that's the issue. It's not even the fact that you give it to the police, because like most ISPs in Europe have to give the data anyway to the police if they're requested. But it's expensive to implement. You are just butthurt that their dead cultures can't produce anything new. The problem is not that their culture is dead. Like, if they just allowed people to be free, they could produce shit. But like, for instance, like if you're a company in the EU, you have to release ESG scores now. So like, if you're making entertainment, you have to make woke shit. If you're on government grants, you gotta make woke shit. And so just leave them alone. What's wrong with regulation? Depends on the regulation. Like, some regulations are absolutely absurd. Elon Musk was talking about regulations. Hold on, let me see if I can find his speech. It was absolutely hilarious. Do you know that some people were wondering, it's like, why is Kamala Harris so bad? Like, why is her campaigning so abysmal? And I genuinely think, this is my opinion, I think Trump wasn't supposed to be alive, Chad. I don't think he was supposed to survive his assassination attempt. And then you'd have had Nikki Haley. And with Nikki Haley, you could have even had Joe Biden. Like, Joe Biden could have still ran for 4 years against Nikki Haley. And I don't think the elites would have cared either way. Right? Like, they would have primaried in Nikki Haley just like they did with Kamala. And no one gets to vote, right? Like, she has the most delegates, and then she gets primaried in, and that's it. I'm trying to find where Elon Musk talks about regulations. People ask if Elon Musk wants to be president. I don't think he can. He's not born in the US, is he?
I mean, I got a bunch of. I got a bunch of sort of nutty stories, you know. Some of them are, I guess, kind of funny. There's, you know, we had to do this. SpaceX had to do the study to see if Starship would hit a shark. And I'm like, it's a big ocean, you know. There's a lot of sharks. It's not impossible, but it's very unlikely. And said, well, you have to, you know, this is, I think, from National Marine Fisheries, one of the...
Isn't it, like, so idiotic? Like there's so much marine life, but we care about sharks. So like, if you hit a little fish, that's fine. Just don't hit the shark.
You know, nymph, it's called. You know, they were like, well, you have to do the study on whether you're going to hit a shark. We're like, what? And then we said, okay, well, fine, we'll do the analysis. And then, well, can you give us the shark data? They're like, no, we can't give you the shark data. We're like, okay, well, then we're in a bit of a quandary. How do we solve this this shark probability issue? And they said, well, we could give it to our Western division, but we don't trust them. And I'm like, am I in a comedy sketch here? And then, like, they're worried about the shark density data, like the people who hunt sharks for shark fins somehow getting their hands on this shark data. And so eventually, I think we got the data, and we could, you know, run the analysis to say, like, yeah, the sharks are going to be fine. But they wouldn't let us proceed with launch until we did this crazy shark data. And then we thought, okay, now we're done. And they said, but what about whales? I'm like, when you look at a picture of the Pacific, what percentage of the surface area of the Pacific do you see as whale? Because I see, look at a picture, I don't see any, it's like, you can't, where's the whale? And honestly, if the ship did hit a whale, it's like, honestly, that whale had it coming, because it's like the odds are so low. You know,
Isn't it weird that our comedians are into politics and our politicians are into comedy? I mean, well, Elon Musk is not a politician, but like, I have seen politicians give stand-up comedy, and it's just like so bizarre to see it. And it's funny because it's real, you know? I think it's cultural V. Euros will say the US has no culture. They think of culture as a dead thing. Europe has culture. America has civilization. No. They say the same thing. It's like, they try to demoralize the nation state. Like, when they say it has no culture, what they're trying to do is to erode nationality. Like, they want you to believe that there is no culture and you need to import diversity and vibrancy in order to get enriched, right? This is a talking point that they don't use that much anymore, because it's obviously false. But they're basically like, what they want to do is like, okay, no German should like their own national flag anymore. Instead, they should like the EU flag. That's their win condition. Elon could still be appointed to the Supreme Court justice. Doesn't he need to like study law in order for that to happen? How do you even do a study on that? I guess it's based on probability, right? Like, you're looking at the shark density data, and you know where your rockets are going to land, and you basically want your rockets to land in a place where there's no sharks or as little sharks as possible. So, anyway, I'm going to go to bed now, chat. Thank you for watching. I appreciate the super chats, and I'll see you all later. Take care.